Warning! The following video is a parody of the Everything Wrong With series of videos by CinemaSins. Most viewpoints and opinions shared are not intended to be taken seriously, since they do not reflect my actual opinions on the game. And without any more delays, since I promised this video quite a while back, I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, this is going to be a reoccurring theme in this game. The Dark Lord sparing the main protagonist, or just the fact he spared anyone in Greenhorn. Reason being, as the intro showed, he puts the stolen faces on monsters which he commands. More faces equals more monsters doing his bidding, and with the main protagonist, this is only the first of many instances of this happening. Conveniently finding bananas and candies on their travels. That would be enough for a sin. But when they eat them, they don't bother taking the peels or wrappers off. Dude, your adventure just started. What makes you think that you would stand a chance right now? Even considering the fact at this point you are only like level 2 or 3. Great Sage Ex Machina. You know what? Since I said this is a reoccurring theme throughout the story, let's just go ahead and add it in for every time the Dark Lord spares the protagonist during the story. I guess the Great Sage will be this world's equivalent to Yoda. The Sarky bloke only gives us 10 gold? Shame. Even considering the fact we got his face back, which I'm pretty sure is the equivalent of saving his life in this world. Actually, it is. This will be important later on. What the f***? I have to save that little kid again? Are you f***ing kidding me? Why is this mother not keeping an eye on her own kid? The protagonist and I share the same reaction to how this guy moves. Speaking of this Prince character, I'm going to just quickly go over how much of a narcissistic dickhead he is, and I'm pretty sure no one is going to disagree with me here for everything I say about him. With that said, here we go. Rude behavior towards people he has never met before. Telling a bunch of lies to you. Acting snarky during a boss fight and not contributing any help. Not even an HP banana or an MP candy. Speaking of which, he takes credit for winning the battle like the narcissistic piece of shit that he is. Also, the fact his comment about his so-called bravery and valiant attempt at vanquishing the brute doesn't age well. Because when the castle gets attacked, he runs off in a tearful panic and makes no attempt to save the princess. Considering it's a guy who claims to make a valiant attempt at defeating a monster, you wouldn't expect someone like that to run away crying their eyes out, would you? Noble's son may not be able to do any damage to the general, but it's definitely a better attempt at saving the princess than anything the prince does, because he doesn't do shit. Don't say that. You at least tried. Unlike a certain someone. And also, I must say the fact he is the first ally not part of the main team, and that's all he does. Acts like a dick. What? They slept on the ground rather than walk back into the tent they set up. How did they not get back pain? Or shoulder pain for that matter? Oh god, not this. The protagonist gets reset and his team members have been stolen. Also, this happens a total of 3 times throughout the game. If I just said them separately, it would get repetitive. So I'll just give this segment 5 sins due to the frustration of your Mii's progress being temporarily resetted and leave it at that. Oh my god! I thought we were done with this asshole. Did I also mention that this asshole is also gullible enough to believe anything? No. No, I didn't. I'm honestly kind of stunned the protagonist can keep a straight face looking at him here, because I definitely cannot, and that's a bad sign considering the protagonist is my impersonal me that I used to represent myself. You? He just does it again. Do you not notice that your husband can't speak anymore? To be honest, you're almost as big of an asshole as the prince. Really? Then what do you call this? Few problems here. First, how did he get that angle to take that picture? Second, if he took that photo on the battlefield, why didn't he warn anyone that something was about to happen to them? Did he just want to capture that moment specifically? Third, no one there consented to having their picture taken. Lastly, he charges them for the photo! Granted, it's only 20 gold, but he still charges them despite never getting consent from them. Also, just like the Dark Lord, I'll add an additional sin for every photo he took of them. Twerky! Also, it farts in their faces. They have every right to be pissed off here. Just 2 of them? I mean, the younger one is definitely not as powerful as her elder sisters, but is still capable of holding her own in a battle, and yet you spared her even when her guard was down? Just saying, if I was the Dark Lord, I would have took all 3 of the Fab Fairies, and then the whole town would have remained completely defenseless.
I wonder what's for dinner.
Of course. Well, this was his chance to take all 3 of the Fab Fairies since they all had their guard down. But nope! Just resorts to taking the youngest one. Lazy Bones is probably the most unlikable person here, merely for not giving a about his peers, even after being spared from the village's recent catastrophe. Also, the fact he has no impact on the story or this town, doesn't even give an item or a joyful personality, just a really unnecessary and boring character. Also, that previous sin about our Miis sleeping on the ground and not getting back pain, arm pain, or shoulder pain, that also applies to this guy here. Holy sh! That is one of the grossest enemies I've ever seen in a video game. How is my team defying gravity? Pray for your safety. What other Nintendo game have I seen that in before? I'm pretty sure physical contact with magma would do more damage than that. The dragon boss is literally the meme about the therapist saying something isn't real and it cannot hurt you. And then the dragon appears not long later. Why does the dragon's colour change from grey to blue after the team defeats it? Does the dragon's colour decide if it's hostile or not? Or is it because it's being controlled by the Dark Lord? How come the Dark Lord doesn't use that huge projectile he almost attacked the protagonist with at the beginning of the game? Also, how come when he summons servants to aid him in the battle, he just stops attacking altogether? He only has 2 people left to deal with. So, are we just going to ignore that blue thing that just flew out of the pendulum? Why did they let him go instead of explaining what's going on? He's literally confused about the whole situation, and yet they say nothing to him. Told you ignoring it was a bad idea. The protagonist falls behind in this shot, and is not behind the Great Sage in the next shot. That's what you're gonna call yourself now? Just Darker Lord? Okay, I guess. What the absolute f***? Goddamn UFO! What? How? How did he get in here? Every villain ever. Dude, he doesn't have a face on him. Clearly there is something wrong with him. F***ing idiot. Even considering you've noticed when something was wrong other times before. I doubt that. Can we play the Otherworld map music backwards? This is not a sin, but this could indicate that Otherworld was once a separate but peaceful dimension before the Darker Lord made his domain within Otherworld. Goddamn! Very rare snurp. Are those eyes, mouths, and everything going up? Never mind, I don't want to know. We interrupt Miitopia to bring you the opening to Teletubbies. I can't believe I just said that. This works. Oh, and also this. I could not leave this out without singing it. Great Sage, this journey would have been a lot easier if you did that the first time! Okay, the story of the Dark Curse is something I may need to go in depth about, since there are 2 possible ways this can turn out. So, according to the story of the Dark Curse's past, this curse was once a human with a life consisting of sadness and loneliness, and after looking in a mirror, The first thing he blames is himself, specifically his face, and eventually chooses to rip off his own face, and that is what caused him to die. For a Mii game, that's surprisingly very creepy. One thing that is never specified in the story is how long a Mii can last without a face before they die, because when you witness their faces being stolen, they still move, indicating that they are still alive. So the question is, how long can they stay alive? The only conclusion I could think of is that they eventually starve to death, because without a face, they don't have a mouth, so they cannot eat anything at all. But there is no definitive answer for this story, so what are your thoughts on the backstory of the Dark Curse, and what your answer is on the story, and why? After the story of the Dark Curse, you get to decide what you want to do with the Dark Curse, options being break the curse or save him. Let's begin this segment off with break the curse, which is where you get rid of the curse and save the world. Before we carry on with this option, let's move on to save him and discuss what happens if you save the curse. The curse gets resurrected, meaning when you are given the option of what to do with the curse, you either get to decide whether you want to resurrect a Mii or not. As I already stated, breaking the curse saves the world, but that happens either way. So once you realise what you've done when you break the curse, it ends up being a dark moment, knowing you were given the option to bring someone back to life. Kamehameha! I doubt that. There is a post-game after all. Getting to see the cast I put together one last time in the credits, the joyful music alongside, and the heroes getting a group photo together at the end of the credits. This game brought me so many smiles, and seeing the characters I chose and enjoyed interacting with during the adventure one last time just... Despite everything I said in this video, this game honestly was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had the fortune of trying. Back when it was just a 3DS title, and seeing it back again on the Switch and experiencing this amazing and hilarious adventure once more, I just can't help but finish this video off with negative sins. I just love this game too much. Let's take off one sin per character in the credits, not counting the Prince of Next Door. You already know how I feel about him. And I'll also take off 10 sins for the hero's group photo. And as for the roving photographer, I guess I can forgive you because this photo is honestly just the perfect way to end the game.